All right, I get a clappy in there. So again, louder one, please.
That was a clap in. That was a full clap.
All right, full clap. All right. Okay, we're going full clap. So my name is Ray Wingnut, and I'm here with Kilcummin, County Kerry singer-songwriter, Junior Brother, aka Ronan Keeley. And Junior Brother is going to be on stage in Cork on November 22nd to the 24th. You're going to be on the Sunday of that weekend, I think, at the Quiet Lights Festival in Cork City. All right. Now, listen, how are you keeping?
Good.
Yeah?
Ray, are you well?
I'm not too bad. One of my favourite green rooms in the country here in Dolan's.
It's a nice spot, yeah. It's, again, not green like 99% of them, but it's quite good. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, listen, 2019, you released your full-length album, Pull the Right Rope. And you've gone on tour, and you've got acclaim and all this kind of stuff. And now what I'm thinking is, right, that all these things will lead to kind of bigger and better things, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, having a lot of recognition, I suppose it leads to a lot of, extra resources and stuff like that. I mean, for example, you're here on tour tonight with Lenkem and all this kind of stuff. So with all this, like, success and stuff like that, does that lead to a different approach to your music? How do you feel differently about what you're doing after the 6 months that you've had?
I suppose, yeah, like it's good though, like it adds a good pressure because like whatever you're writing has an actual audience that are going to listen to it that's bigger than it was before, so that's in the back of your head, alright, writing, but you have to have that right at the back of your head, but it still needs to be there because it's a good pressure to have an audience and somewhere in your head while you're writing, I think, not at the forefront of what you're doing, but kind of subconscious.
Yeah, but is it less crack though? Do you know what I mean? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean by crack? Now, I don't mean that in a frivolous sense.
I know what you mean, yeah, but I find it good crack anyway. I've never really not found songwriting or playing music shite crack what I'm doing now anyway, because I'm doing what I want to, I suppose, so that hasn't really changed. What has changed is just the idea that there's an audience who are there that'll listen to what I'm doing, and I suppose the pressure, I mean, you have to make it good pressure. It can maybe get you, you can feel a bit like, nothing I'm writing is as good as the last thing that people liked, but that's just par for the course, really, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's say, speaking of pressure now, so on stage now tonight, you're going to be on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And sometimes you play on stage with two others.
Yeah.
Now, I'm very entertained, I got to say, by these two other musicians that join you on stage, and I don't know anything about them. Who are those guys?
Tony McLaughlin, he's plays mandolin and backing vocals. He was in a band called the Young Folk for a number of years. Very good band, Dublin based. And then the other guy is Fikra Meek. He's an amazing player. He's in a great band called Alfie, who everyone should check out. They're a great kind of American old-timey / Irish trad band, and amazing musicians altogether, yeah. So they've just, since the album came out, kind of helped me in a live sense to recreate the album songs live, the arrangements,
Yeah.
to bring them out live. The newer stuff I'm still kind of figuring arrangements out, so I'm still doing them in the solo way. So I'll be doing a few new ones tonight, and when I'm playing solo, which I'm looking forward to.
And does it change when you have others on stage with you? Like, I mean, like, does it change the way you feel about what you're doing when you've got to hold the fort on your own, or if you've got musicians on either side of you?
Yeah, well, I thought it would be, having a band would be, I'd kind of relax a bit more, or like the gigs wouldn't be as intense or something. But they're actually almost more intense, but in a good way. Like, it just seems to have. I was thinking, will I be able to maybe sit back a little bit and just enjoy things a bit more instead of just intensely concentrating on everything, which is the average Junior Brother gig for me. But instead, it's just kind of channeled that intensity into a much more kind of powerful lens in some cases, and it's been great. Yeah, so it's kind of it's like a bit of an extension of what I'm already doing solo, like, which
Brilliant.
is great.
All right. Now, listen, I want to talk about County Kerry, right? Hopefully you won't mind talking about County Kerry, right?
My pleasure.
All right. No, there's a very special thing. I don't know if you're aware of it. It's on the Radio Kerry website, and you can download an MP3, right? And it's a special between the sports broadcaster Wishy Fogarty and the writer John B. Keane.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the thing I'm
Terrace
talking
Talk.
about? It's a Terrace Talk
Terrace
special.
Talk, yeah.
And it's absolutely incredible. And no, the two lads talk about it. No, it's very funny how the kind of territory they go into, right? Because they basically go into how amazing is County Kerry, right? And you'd be listening to it and saying like, Cork people could never get away with this kind of crack now, right? Because they're just basically saying like, I mean, Wishy Fogarty is basically saying, John B, how amazing is County Kerry, right? So like, and it's very interesting, and the conversation completely sustains itself. They completely they take it on face value, and it's a very serious and like it's a very inspiring conversation, right? And County Kerry is a very inspiring place. But so in terms of literature, in terms of music and cultural traditions, what do you find about your place of origin that feeds into what you do in terms of making music?
Well, the landscape where I'm from is probably the biggest influence behind everything I do in my music.
Interesting, because they said the same themselves.
Yeah, less so even literature or writers or people or stories, just the feeling of the place, you know. It's hard to pin down in words, so that's why I try to put it in my music, and that's the main thing I kind of strive for. With the music I do now anyway, just to make it as natural and kind of weird but beautiful as well as possible, just to remind me of that landscape, and hopefully kind of put that in other people's minds as well. It's not the main thing people should listen out for, but it's there if people want to hear it, you know, that sense of the place, you know.
Yeah. No, I think that's an interesting answer, in the sense that like I get a kind of a vibration of County Kerry as well, you know what I mean? It's the first place that I became kind of really aware of the ground I was standing on.
Right.
Does that make sense to you? Like, you know, are you ever just kind of standing in one place or another and be like, I feel super aware of the ground that I'm standing on here now? Or is that just me?
No, I get you. There's a certain energy to the place. And if it's a natural landscape, that energy can be off the charts if you focus on it, you know, because you're in such an ancient place, you know.
Yeah.
Some places have a certain energy, like venues, for example, to make it more modern. Some venues have an amazing just atmosphere to them, and in others it's just you can't really feel anything. So yeah, like in terms of standing in a place you can feel the ground you're in. I suppose that also means there's an earthiness to the place, or you're earthed or something, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Now listen, I was at a shindig over the summer, and I think you jumped behind the decks at one stage with young Kojak, the rapper from Dublin.
Oh yes.
And you were playing some hardcore rap. And I gotta say, it was a very fine scene, and there was tops off, and the place was being flipped over. And
that was in the house you had taken over.
It
Takes a Village.
It Takes a Village, yeah. No, so and somebody said, "Oh yeah, man, Junior brother, he's mad into hardcore rap. Are you mad into hardcore rap?"
Not really, no. Who said that?
I forget who said it, but
no, I wasn't allowed to touch the decks for that. It was the soft boys were all over the decks, and they just told me to come back, and I was like, "Oh, class, maybe I'll play some bangin trad now, along with all this rap." But they just gave me free bottles of stout, and I was happy enough with that.
Alright,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you were just standing there, okay?
Yeah.
So you were being swept along with everybody else.
I was enjoying it. They were playing Slowthai, and I liked that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that was the particular one as well that I was very taken with. That
I think that was because Kojak put that on, and as soon as it came on, he jumped over the decks and went into the crowd and took his top off and went on someone's shoulders, and then he told me to play it again, and then the same song played again.
Oh,
So
so
I
you
think
did
people-
fulfill a purpose behind the decks.
I
after
suppose
all.
I did, yeah. And if it was my choice, I would have chosen that song as well. Doorman by
Again.
Slowthai.
All right, good stuff, Slowthai. So listen, now speaking of that, right? So I've had a couple of interesting kind of run-ins now over the summer and pretty recently, right? One was a fiddler from Newmarket, County Cork, and he was talking about music, right? And he was talking about to bring an audience with you. He talked about a draíocht, right?
Yeah.
That has to exist within the music for him to go along with. And he described it as draíocht, and he described it as a magic carpet. Then I spoke with another Killarney man, Andy Connolly, Andy the Deviant, and he spoke about I need to be able to believe the person who's making the music for me to go along with it, for me to not question it. I need to not question the process. So in terms of Slowthai and stuff like that, or in terms of any music that you're a fan of, or the music that you want to create now, do you want to put a word on the essential ingredient that you chase after with music?
I think it's a case by case thing for me anyway, in terms of what I want to get, and what I want from what I make and what I receive, what I listen to. I think it's a changeable thing for me anyway. But even if it wasn't, I don't think I could put my finger on it, what exactly it is. I know live anyway. I kind of know when I have it. It would be that kind of, I suppose, draíocht or whatever you want to call it. That sort of sweet spot that you hit live. Sometimes it's just an energy, and it depends on the venue, as I said there. It depends on the audience, and you know, how much they've had to drink, how much I've had to drink in some cases. But so live, that would be something that I would like. I would definitely be very, very aware of, and that would be a sort of a high energy that you strive to attain live. In terms of on record, I'd be more malleable with that in terms of what I want to kind of achieve, what sort of energy I want to hit.
It can be just flip over the decks and tops off, and yeah.
One moment and then the next passed out in the
Play it
corner.
again. Passing out in the corner. All right, so you're here with Lancome tonight. Just a word for Lancome, they're going to be at the Quiet Lights Festival as well. They're playing at St. Luke's over that weekend, the same weekend that you're playing in the Kino.
They're the 23rd, I think.
Yeah.
Saturday,
Yeah. So what about Lancome? What's it like? You're on tour with them. This is the first leg of the tour, is it?
Yeah, this is the first night now, tonight, in Dolan's Warehouse. Yeah. And then it's Roisin Dove and Galway tomorrow night, and then Belfast Empire, and then Vicar Street then is the last one. So
all right,
it'll be great, old crack.
There they are, the old Lancome crew. All right, this is the first leg of the tour.
Well, hello.
Good stuff. All right, listen, thanks a million, Ronan. Good stuff, buddy.
No bother, thanks, Ray.
All right.